you're going to see recession indicators flashing. I mean, they're everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's on Wall Street on one of the random, little squiggly lines going in the wrong direction, or if it's at the grocery store that you're seeing stuff, that more stuff is staying on the shelf longer than you thought, or people are buying down to different things. The most recent one that we currently are dealing with is, again, the frozen pizza recession indicator, which we're going to look at here in a little bit. Today's stream is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about a few different articles here that I want to cover. Spend a little more time in depth just chatting about these, also what I'm seeing with my clients as well. So for those who don't know, I'm a business coach that works out of West Michigan around the country. And I just got back. I was in Southern California working with a new client in San Francisco, and then flew down to San Clemente to spend some time with my daughter and her family. And then I just got back here to Michigan last night. And then this morning, coming live here to be able to talk about these things. So again, I hope to earn your subscription today. Now, with this things we're going to chat about here, we got the frozen pizza recession indicator. It's a quick article, but I want to talk at length about more what it means. And it's obviously signaling some pretty important things that are going on within the greater economy as a whole, and the way people are looking at spending their dollars, because it's not just in the frozen pizza stuff. The way that the next generations are spending their money is markedly different than what has been done before. And just something that I want to be able to touch on. We're going to also take a look at some questions, the Q&A piece out of Inc.com. It's on my list of weeklies just to see, but I thought they had a question right off the bat about, am I old fashioned because, and it's where someone that had sent them a note asking like, hey, am I an old fuddy-duddy because I view these things this way? Is that true? Sorry, I'm just... Okay, just double checking my feed there, make sure it was good. Okay, sorry. It's pretty interesting what they had to say there. The other spot, there's a couple other questions we want to touch on. The last one's going to be talking about with the Small Business Administration. More for folks that are interested in, hey, what's actually happening in the the underbelly of the economy right now, and the foundational piece, what's happening. It's interesting the shift in an administration does for where people are willing to basically borrow for. So let's get into this here, guys. It's good stuff today. Got a nice chill broadcast today. Again, for those who don't know, I come here live pretty consistently sharing this information. And again, I hope to earn your subscription. Yesterday's live stream was a trip. My cousin, he sent me a note. He was just he was laughing about my live stream. It was pretty funny, the number of questions I was getting, because I went live on my if you go look, it's terrible video, because I was streaming live from the airport, and it wasn't the best. Let's just put it that way. It was kind of grainy, but I was getting hit with a million different questions. It was pretty funny when you go live on shorts. You are always kind of rolling the dice on the interactions you're going to get. We'll put it that way. Now, my gardening streams, which I do, they're always great, but yeah, live out of the airport, that one was wild yesterday. So, all right. So, it's from Ben Zinga. I'm surprised. I didn't realize these guys were still around here, but frozen pizza sales surge, echoing the 2009 recession trend as Americans cut back on dining out amid economic strain. And that part's true. I mean, that part is very true about the economic strain and people not going out to eat as much. I mean, we're making those decisions in my family. Me and the redhead, we do not, when we go out to eat, man, neither of us drink. And, you expect the bill not to be, ridiculous. But man, I'll tell you, when we go out, I think it was almost $40 for the two of us just to go get some Mexican the other day at the local place. I was like that, and that wasn't much. We didn't get that much for it to hit that level. Throw a little tip in there to help out, but man, that was kind of crazy. So yeah, we eat in more often than not. Going out is now a luxury, for about the last 30 years, it's just been something you do. Now it's a luxury, I think, is what we're going to see more and more folks. All right, consumers are increasingly turning to comfort foods, with frozen pizza sales experiencing a significant surge. A trend some experts view as a potential indicator. It is a flashing bright alarm, 5-alarm fire that there's absolutely an indicator of something going on. Folks, you're going to order a fresh pizza if you can afford it. You're not going to get a frozen one. It's just not what you're going to do. And that's the thing. That's why this is so important to see. And it is one indicator. There's other things that we're seeing too as well. outside of this. We'll get to that in a second. So consumers are reaching for more frozen pizza, especially when a premium option amid economic unease, according to a report by Business Insider. This pattern has been noted during the past economic downturns as well. It is 100% there. Now, Craig Zawada, this chief visionary officer at Pros Holding, a price optimization firm, that's an interesting job, clarified that while it may seem paradoxical for consumers to choose high-priced frozen pizzas during a downturn, it's a trade-off as they substitute dining out with eating at home. This happens in every sort of downturn in the economy. Now, one of the issues that you're going to see there, it's not just there. We're seeing it across the board, especially in the retail space. If you are in any sort of restaurant, you know you're selling more of those lower priced items are just moving out right now. But the other side too is that which affects everything, right? The higher margin items that you have, the more expensive, that allows you to keep your staff. But as people are making the decision that they want to, price down to these other things, your margin goes down and you're not able to keep as much staff around. It has this negative effect, right? People lose their jobs. And this is why recessions, we haven't been through one in a long time, folks. And if you haven't been through one, they suck. They're terrible. They are absolutely awful to get through because it's this downward spiral. And these are all the indicators of what happens, because now people aren't buying pizza, right? And now your local pizza place is not be able to hire staff. And now the staff isn't able to pay for things. So that means they're not going to spend money on, rather than getting a latte, now they're just going to get drip coffee, right? Those type of things. Or they're going to get coffee at home. Now the coffee shop, it's just spirals down, down, down. That's in longer, but it then expands into the bigger pieces, which now people are going to decide they don't want to get vehicles, right? They're going to put off buying a new vehicle, which is going to, all those ripple effects. And that's what I mean. That's why we worry so much about going into recessions. It's not simply just that there's a downturn in the economy. It's that there is the ripples that happen as the economy slows and people stop spending. It has a wide ranging, and it goes for a very long time until there's another shock. So we haven't had an actual recession in quite some time. That little blip in COVID was not a recession. Like, don't even let them try to tell you that. It was not, because we got all sorts of money. We got Trump bucks. Remember, he cut us checks. So don't worry about that. All right. Next one we got on here, I just found to be pretty interesting, was am I old fashioned about employee lateness? And there's other things that they talk about here. This is again from Inc.com. As always, links are in the description. Allison Green, again, just taking a look at this, and it's Ask a Manager. Am I old fashioned about employee lateness? Now I'll let you know, and we'll get into the question here in a second. These are great questions to ask yourself. Why do we even have a time when people need to show up to work? Think about that. Why is that something that we're worried about? Why is that something we're concerned about? All right. Again, here's the question. Am I old-fashioned about employee lateness? Here's the question. I feel it is non-negotiable that except for cases of emergency sick kids or traffic jams, employees should be at work on time the vast majority of days. This means getting to work about 10 minutes early in time to hang up a coat, use the bathroom, and be at one's desk when the hour begins. I feel like most employees and many managers do not so much care about this, or if they do not say anything to late employees. I have worked with colleagues who regularly show up 10 to 20 minutes late and no one seems to care. I'm not talking about flex time jobs. Are my standards old-fashioned? Not just old-fashioned, but genuinely out of date. In a lot of jobs, it doesn't matter if you're at your desk at 9 or 9:10 because it has zero impact on the results you get. There are other jobs where it does matter. For example, if an employee covers the phones or has client employment starting right at 9, but increasingly jobs that can move away from that, i.e., which again, no worries. The only relevant question is, does it affect the person's work or someone else's work? If yes, then it's a reasonable expectation of the job and you need to address the lateness. And that's one of the things I've talked with folks about at length on here. If you open the door and you have customers that are coming in directly at 9 o'clock, your folks need to be ready to work at 9 o'clock, not 9:05, 9:10, because you have clients that are coming in. But that's the main difference here. So but you're in an office environment, folks need to be available at 9 because maybe the manager has stuff that's manager needs to work on those things. And so I really try not for my clients that I work with, it's 100% job dependent. We're worried about outcomes. However, if you are customer facing, you know, your job is to be there for customers at 9 o'clock. So you got to be there, right? But yeah, is it old fashioned? Sure. Sure, it can be a thing. So, but yeah, I thought that was an interesting piece here. Now, this one I love. This is the next question. We're going to move on to the small business piece here as well. So, should I be offering my employees resume advice? We will be promoting someone on my team to a low-level management position to free up some time of my time. 3 current employees applied, submitting resumes, which we require for even for internal applications, which you should, right? You want to open those for the internal applicants. All 3 resumes has some very obvious problems. Irrelevant jobs, given a ton of space. High school coursework given a lot of space, 6 years after finishing a degree. Yeah. A highlight section that redundantly lists information further down. Right. The resumes aren't where they need to be at. And the person's asking, should I help them with that? And I found this to be one of those more interesting questions when I came across here than a lot of different things. You're as a manager, you have a responsibility to mentor folks. You do. It's just something you need to be doing. Make sure you're mentoring your folks here. It is so important that you are spending time with them. If someone is giving you the time to if someone is giving you the time to mentor them, and let me do this a different way. Every opportunity you see to offer someone advice, I always recommend you find a way to offer if they're interested in the advice. If they don't want to take it, that's on them. But if you are in a leadership position, you have a responsibility to mentor where you can. And mentorship requires people to be open to hearing it. That's kind of the big piece here. So when you're looking at this 100%, if you see, in this case, a resume, you absolutely would want to offer that up to them. Some advice just to help them out. I think it'd be important. I think they'd dig it. So last piece we're going to get into here. These are just some of the articles. I thought maybe today I would just give a nice little portfolio of the stuff that I talk about rather than having a full video on just one of the items. Although the pizza one still cracks me up. Is this last bit. Applications are surging. Small Business Administration reports significant growth in loan approvals. This is from entrepreneur.com. The SBA launched its Made in America manufacturing initiative last month. And let's see where we're at. Let's get to the numbers here. Small businesses are getting approved. Okay, here we go. In its flagship program, the 7A Business Loan Program, which if you've spent any time in business, you know what that is, offers entrepreneurs the opportunity to buy real estate, purchase machinery, and obtain furniture and supplies and guarantees up to 85% of 7A loans, $150,000 or less, and 75% of loans above $150,000. Okay, the 7A. I love this new program, the way it's set up here. It's a pretty interesting piece to where you can kind of make some adjustments. According to new data by the SBA, 74% more business owners were approved for 7A manufacturing loans in the first 90 days of Trump's administration than during the first 90 days of, well, yeah. We're coming out of COVID, folks. All these business owners were sitting flush with cash. So come on, makes sense here. That's not a good comparison. SBA has approved more than, here we go, from January 20th to April 7th. This is the number. 1,120 7A manufacturing loans totaling $677 million. That's a lot of loans going out. Loan applications approvals for small manufacturers are surging, a clear sign that American manufacturing. Okay, now SBA, obviously, they're going to be selling this piece here. But this is the part where I want to get into. The SBA launched its Made in America Manufacturing Initiative last month, which aims to cut $100 billion worth of regulations for manufacturers and create a pipeline of skilled workers to take on manufacturing jobs. This is the big piece here, folks. The Made in America Manufacturing Initiative is a huge deal because it is now laid the groundwork for everyone to really start honing in and focusing on their on what it is that we need to do, considering we have tariffs coming out, which is going to be getting more manufacturing done locally in the U.S. So expect this to be a thing. With that, we talked yesterday on my live stream about the fact that you're going to have an issue with jobs numbers, with the overall not jobs number, the number of applicants. A lot of people are going to be re-entering the workforce for the first time in a long time, like now and for the next couple years. expect there to be a lot of competition for these jobs that are coming out here, specifically that are going to be in the manufacturing space that are coming up, because they're going to be good paying jobs. They are, and they don't require that much skill. They don't require any skill but being able to show up on time and follow direction and get paid really well for them. All right, so you're going to see this be a thing. So as we have these new jobs that are opening, there's going to be a lot more people coming out to them. So what I'm recommending for everyone is, if you see an opportunity to get into a manufacturing job, do it now, because it is going to open up. The floodgates are going to open up here over the next 9 to 12 months. And you're going to see a whole bunch of people coming back into the workforce applying for these jobs, which is going to affect your ability to get those jobs. Okay. But with this, we took a look here, and it's just showing you that there are people are taking advantage of the SBA for loans to expand their space for more manufacturing, because again, these tariffs, they're doing what they're doing. They're trying to shift the supply chain. That's what's happening. So with that, I appreciate everybody who checked this out today. Again, hopefully I earned your subscription. If you'd like to learn more about how I help businesses grow faster than I ever thought possible, be sure to check out summitbusinessguides.com. Take care, and I will see you next time.